I couldn't not talk about this game. Elden Ring finally came out. Lots of people have lots to say about it. Some love it, others not so much. It's a flawed but ambitious game with some steep learning curves, a litany of bullshit moments, but just as many experiences that are up there with the best in the genre. I can't tell you if I think it's a good game yet. I've barely scratched the surface, but here are 5 things I know I love about the game. I love how the map is designed to obfuscate the scale of the world. Exploring Limgrave, the starting area, you get a feel for the game's scope in its terrifying vistas. Your first map piece reveals a sizable chunk, but it leaves several other areas in the dark. But as you venture out in one direction or another, you start to realize that the boundaries of your map aren't so set in stone. The more of the land you see, the broader it becomes. It allows the game to offer you a load of little surprises along the way. You think you know what you're dealing with, then bam, huge new area tucked quietly behind a mountain ridge. It avoids the classic "I have this much left of the game to explore" element that I think a lot of open world games suffer from. Inevitably, the sense of scale and wonder diminishes as you progress. And I suppose the same is eventually true here, although 20 odd hours in I'm still finding myself excited by the prospect of things not shown on my map screen. Hiding the scale of the world from the player like this is an absolutely brilliant move, and I hope more games do the same in the future. Stormvale Castle is fucking massive. It may seem like the scope of the world would somehow diminish the intimidation factor of these megastructures, but I would argue it elevates them. It's not just the size of them, but how they use verticality and a relaxed attitude to boundaries to create believable architectural monstrosities. Scrabbling across rooftops, falling down to hidden ledges, facing off against what feel like whole armies of nasty bastards. It's a breathtaking experience that not only makes the world feel that much bigger, but makes you feel that much smaller too. Conquering these legacy dungeons feels like a whole game unto itself, and then you have the rest of the game to play too. It's a remarkable achievement. It really does feel like a spell has been cast on you. They are using every part of the buffalo with these dungeons. Towering heights and plunging depths, disorienting, maze-like, but with that beautiful interconnectedness that FromSoft is so famous for. They're great. Torrent is also great, just a really good horse. I love him. The ability to access this faster option for travel also allows you to adapt the overworld's combat encounters on the fly. See a guy on his lonesome? Run circles around, taking nasty little swipes like a coward. It's totally valid. Enemy tearing chunks out of you? Run away. See an army of thralls bearing down on you? Hit the bricks, mister. Having an exit strategy that also doubles as a way to access higher elevations and get to hard to reach areas genuinely makes what would be an intimidating game to newcomers feel that much more accessible. You can run into unknown territory to get a feel for what's in there, then book it before the creeps and ghouls catch wind of you. I have seen more of Elden Ring already than I have any other Souls game apart from maybe Bloodborne, and part of it is the knowledge that I know I can get the hell out of Dodge if the game gets too spicy for me. Coupled with my last point, this game feels way more approachable to that core idea that Dark Souls was celebrated for, but I would argue never actually quite delivered on. You can go anywhere and make progress. This is built fundamentally into the game just by virtue of how open spaces are and how easy it is to get around, but on top of this you have teleportation traps that send you to the far ends of the earth, routes that allow you to bypass the legacy dungeons in order to explore later areas, and just the fact that there's so much to be found to explore. You can bolster your stats, your weapons, your healing capabilities without fighting a single enemy. That is an incredible way to allow players to manage their own challenge, and it means that when they do eventually attempt to tackle one of the bigger fights, they have more options to work with. Elden Ring is a game plagued by legacy. So much of it is borrowed from earlier games. It's a greatest hits kind of deal that doesn't really have too many of its own ideas. For folk like me who never really got very far in those other games, this doesn't bother me as much as it would someone who knows the game inside out and values new and exciting experiences. But where Elden Ring becomes a more interesting phenomenon for me is in those new to the genre, experiencing all of this fresh. It's an esoteric game. It really doesn't tell you much of what you actually need to know to survive its brutal first few hours. The game's greatest curse is that for it to be exciting and new, it also has to be frustratingly unknowable. Nevertheless, it has been wonderful hearing one of my colleagues talk about playing the game with her boyfriend, neither of whom have played a Souls game before. It's a transformative experience, learning how those not cursed by prior knowledge approach a game as weird as this. Talking through idiosyncrasies, the sub-mechanics and hidden stats, helping them navigate treacherous terrain when one of them got caught by a teleportation trap. Just listening to an account of something I already experienced myself through fresh new eyes, it's been great. This is the one great pleasure of games discourse. Amongst the sea of bullshit takes, bad faith arguments, and the occasional, actually really good piece of criticism that's completely interpreted the wrong way, the actual storytelling element of conversations about games crafts a wild mythos around experiences that can be easily shared. It allows things to be new again. My Twitter feed is full of folk accounting, with some modesty around spoilers, their time with the game. What they valued, what they did not. I've had as much fun hearing about what other people have been up to as I have playing myself. So that's 5 things I love about Elden Ring. What did you like about the game? What didn't you like? Do we all agree that the Tree Sentinel is a total shit of a man? Leave a comment below. Thanks for watching.